Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
It's Some Dumb Guy. Welcome to episode number 51 of SumDumWatch. This is my weekly series chronicling what I watch from my physical media library and any theatrical viewings I attend. Anybody want to celebrate some physical media with me? Let's please dive in. This episode is going to cover the week of September 15th through September 21st, and let's get the ball rolling. First and foremost, a semi-recent Kino Lorber blind buy and blind watch from 1951 at a brisk 82 minutes, continuing on a theme I started last week. How long will it go? Nobody knows. What we have here is the Western Tomahawk, starring Van Heflin. I like that name, I don't know why, and the very lovely Yvonne DiCarlo. Two guesses why I bought and watched this movie. It's not Van Heflin. Although he looks very familiar to me, I couldn't place him. I didn't look him up to see what I might have seen him in. Yes, the lovely Yvonne. Vibrant, sexy, full of life, bringing it to so far every role I've seen her in, which, aside from Musters, is now totaling 3. Not a whole lot of experience there, but she has yet to disappoint. I've enjoyed her in every performance. On the surface, you could say this is a standard Western. However, you dig a millimeter under the surface, and it's very much not. And especially for 1951, because you have American frontiersman basically here who is riding the fence between his American government and the Native American people, whom the military is kind of at odds with, right? Because this actually goes and addresses the issues with the American government and the Sioux, whom signed multiple treaties over years, and then the American government basically reneges, pushes the Sioux people off of their lands, and then pushes, and it's like, okay, well, let's retreaty. Is retreaty a word? I'm going to retreaty. And this kind of ongoing thing. And then, of course, tensions continue to escalate because of this. Stupid people do stupid things, and consequences ensue. Now, this has an air of believability as far as historical accuracy. Have not really thoroughly looked into the events here. It feels right. So if there's been some kind of significant alteration, it wasn't like readily apparent. But on this, like I said, surface level, you get a man who is on a originally undisclosed kind of vengeance crusade against an American military officer who has done some bad things. And he, again, is the one who's riding the fence here, and things are kind of vague, and his whole story doesn't really come out until the tail end of the movie as far as who he is and what he's all about. Some people suspect him because, he's an engine lover kind of thing, right? It's always more complicated than that. So you've got to appreciate and respect the nuances of it. So if you are a vintage classical Western fan, I say this is a pretty good, solid watch that I would give a recommendation to. Moving on to something I wouldn't give a recommendation to, and I'm going to break my little pattern here because usually I will present movies, television, and then theatrical. Bouncing balls going backwards. Do something a little different here. There'll be a reason. Blind buy, recent TV watch here. This is the 4th and final season of Superman and Lois. And if you want to talk about TV series that got progressively worse with each season, starting off with a really solid first season, this would be a prime example. It's probably great that this show ended when it did, and by all accounts, it seems like that was the intention, which is weird to run a 4-season series. But everything in this last season, unless they had a whole season's worth of time advance notice that would be the last, it was going to be canceled, that would be the only way to make this work. I despise the casting of Lois Lane in this show, and I've said that before. I hate her. I hate her character. I don't want to hate the actress because I've never seen her anything else. The lazy eye thing really drives me freaking bonkers. I don't think she's the least bit attractive at all on any level. She's an insufferable bitch. to make a Superman series. It is Superman and Lois, not Lois and Superman. This woman is lecturing Superman constantly in this season about anything and everything. It's like the guy can't do right, and that's all Superman really does is do right. And of course, we have another mutilization, bastardization of the Doomsday character. Let's just completely continue to reinvent this antagonist, this mindless beast, essentially, and give him more than what he ever had. And it's like, okay, we have this, and then we have Batman v Superman. It's like, why? Just, there was already something there. Stick with it. You know, you don't even have to give him a backstory, even though that was done in the comic books after, and for better or worse. It doesn't need to be done. I actually did like Lex Luthor in this. I do like Tyler Hoechlin, I think is his name, who plays Superman. Although I'm still always going to be bothered by the simple fact is Superman with a constant 5 o'clock shadow, or worse, does not work for me. Nor does it work for Clark Kent, I think. It's weird. Yeah, this show just progressively bothered me worse and worse with each season, culminating in this one. And if it wasn't for, I guess, for lack of a better term, I need to feel like I completed it to know where it ended, I wouldn't have wanted to continue it. Maybe even at some point I might just say, you know, I'm going to sell off the seasons 2, 3, and 4, just keep the first one and leave it at that, because at least that's, you know, solid enough. But I'll never watch the rest of it again. All right, so why did I break my normal pattern here? And it's just a small, simple thing. Another recent blind watch. It's an 86-minute film, and as per usual, I don't see a copyright date on here, so whatever. This is Superman Man of Tomorrow. I popped this in the next day after finishing in the hopes of a palate cleanser, and aside from the fact that I wasn't really digging the animation, although it somewhat grew on me, or I got used to it, this was. And 86 minutes, as all DC animated films tend to be fairly brief, unless they're like a 2-parter spliced together or 3-parter spliced together. This one's pretty solid. It's origin story-esque, not like Kal-El coming to Earth, but as just starting out as Superman, hasn't yet adopted the identity or his suit or anything. The suit thing, the introduction of the suit was really wonky in the story. Ma Kent's basically like, here, I made this for you out of the materials you were swaddled in when you arrived on Earth. Complete with Kryptonian house logos, insignias, and all that good stuff, which he had actually never seen before, and which Clark/Kal-El had only ever seen himself for the very first time the night before, because up to that point he had no idea who he was, where he came from, anything about his origins or identity, and he was just an intern at the Daily Planet, putting on some kind of disguise, flying around, saving things, saving people, doing his thing, trying to figure himself out. But yeah, you got Lobo in there. You've got Parasite, whom is the funky alien here. Lex Luthor, as always, playing his thing. But overall, pretty solid entry. So that helped quite a lot. Last but not least, we started next short-term TV series entry after finishing Superman and Lois, and this is also a final season of a show that I started some time ago, but because it is, I think, overly priced because it's an MOD release. Took me a while to get around to buying it. This is the second and final season of Time Tracks, and because, again, I don't know why studios do this, but I understand the rationale behind MOD releases. I don't understand why they have to go completely cheap with it, whether it be the artwork on the sleeve or the really, really bad looking, homemade looking nonsense, and it's all the same thing on every single disc. You know, they're typically DVD-Rs or RWs, probably Rs. They're not pressed discs, not professionally printed artwork. All this is just as cheap and possibly generic as you can get. The video quality, at times, I mean, better, just slightly better than VHS. A lot of blurry in the text and just that graininess. It's, you know, they call it artifacting or whatever. But first season, I remember watching a lot of when this aired in the mid-90s, early 90s. This is 1994 on this one. I don't remember specifically anything about the second season, so I don't know how far I actually made it into the show. I've only watched the first episode so far. It was below average, so as far as a season premiere goes, it was really not starting out very strong. We'll see. This is probably one of your standard 23 episode, 26 episode So what is called 23, 26? I'm not going to count. Whatever. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not very optimistic, but again, completionist. I wanted to finish it, catch up, oversee what I had never completed 30 years ago. Anyway, that's it. Can't make it to the theater. Don't have the time. My move is pending. Everything is imminent. Just waiting for the pieces to fall into place. So expect a lot of changes in the near future here, for better or worse. We'll see how that plays out. Thank you for tolerating me once again, for watching, for viewing. What did you think of my choices for this week? What have you yourselves watched from your own libraries in this last week? Did you see anything in the theater, good or bad? I know there's stuff out there that I was interested in. I can't sacrifice the time and make it. It's hard enough just to watch something here and get through it in 2 or 3 viewings because time and falling asleep and exhaustion and I hope it doesn't endure too much longer. I miss normalcy. Obviously, I'm going to have a new normal, whatever that is. Appreciate you all. Thank you once again, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye.
Alan.